This video provides an introduction to the CyberCook Control Panel. Go to iPortableSolutions.com for additional information, including the CyberCook User Guide. Email requests for app support, bug reports, and app enhancements to support at iPortableSolutions.com. Parameters related to PIT operation are displayed on the PIT display panel. PIT temperature is updated each time the app receives updated data from the CyberCook. How often app data is refreshed is set on the Refresh Intervals menu. The PIT temp display flashes each time data is refreshed, providing an indication of the refresh interval. If no probe has been inserted into the device, no probe is displayed on the temperature display. The PIT temp display is color-coded according to the relationship of actual PIT temp to the set point. If PIT temp is within the alarm threshold, PIT temp is displayed in green. If PIT temp is above the alarm threshold, PIT temp is displayed in red. If it's below the threshold, it's displayed in blue. Aural and visual alarms are also triggered when PIT temp exceeds the alarm threshold. The PIT temp set point is adjusted using the PIT set point stepper. Tapping the stepper adjusts the set point up or down in 1 degree increments. If the stepper is held down, the set point is adjusted continuously until it is released to provide a quick way to make large changes. When the set point is changed from CyberCook, the change is also transmitted to the CyberCook. A short time after the change is transmitted, CyberCook verifies the CyberCook was successfully updated. If the update was not successful, an alert is provided to the user. Food parameters are displayed on the 3 probe display panels. A customized name can be entered for each of the 3 food probes for easy identification of the associated food. The temperatures for each food probe are updated each time data is refreshed. If a probe has not been inserted into the device, no probe is displayed on the associated food temp display. The food temp display is color-coded according to the relationship of actual food temp to the food temp set point. If food temp is below the set point, food temp is displayed in green. When the food temp reaches the set point, the associated food temp is displayed in yellow, and the food done alarm is triggered. Each food set point is adjusted using the associated food set point stepper. Tapping the stepper adjusts the set point up or down in 1 degree increments. Again, if the stepper is held down, the set point is adjusted continuously until it is released to provide a quick way to make large changes. When the set point is changed from CyberCook, the change is also transmitted to the CyberCook device. A short time after the change is transmitted, CyberCook verifies the device was successfully updated. If the update was not successful, an alert is provided to the user. If a PIT or food set point disagree is triggered, an alert is displayed and the associated set point is displayed in yellow. Tapping OK on the alert changes the set point color back to green. The set point displayed on the control panel remains at the current CyberCook device value. A set point disagree will also occur when multiple iOS devices are connected to a single CyberCook and the set point is changed from one of the iOS devices. The disagree alert is triggered on those devices where the set point was not changed because their set points don't agree with the current CyberCook set point. Food temp status is indicated by each food status display. The status display indicates error if an error status code is received from the device during a data refresh. For example, if no probe is detected. CyberCook provides a series of temp alarms to alert you when action may need to be taken. Internal app algorithms are used to trigger all temp alarms during each data refresh. This enables the user to customize alarm behavior. Alarm behavior is customized on the PIT Alarm Settings menu. The PIT temp alarm is triggered when PIT temperature exceeds the alarm threshold. The default alarm threshold is 10 degrees Fahrenheit and can be changed on the PIT Settings menu. The pit temp alarm changes the pit temp color to red if the temperature is above the set point, or blue if the temperature is below the set point. A continuous RO alarm is also triggered, and a flashing pit high or pit low indication appears on the pit temp annunciator. The RO alarm is canceled by tapping the pit temp annunciator. The visual annunciations are automatically reset when pit temp returns within the alarm threshold. Independent food done alarms are available for each food probe. The food done alarms are triggered when the associated food temp reaches the associated probe set point. All food done alarms are on by default. The RO alarm can be inhibited on the Alarm Inhibits menu if desired. Visual alarm indications cannot be inhibited. A food done alarm changes the associated food temp color to yellow and triggers a continuous RO alarm and a flashing food done indication on the food temp annunciator. The RO alarm can be canceled by tapping the food temp annunciator. The visual annunciations are automatically reset when pit temp returns within the alarm threshold. Multiple simultaneous food done alarms are indicated on the food temp annunciator by displaying each food for which an alarm has been triggered, each on a subsequent line on the annunciator. The maximum design temperature for the CyberCook temperature probes is 475 degrees Fahrenheit. Operating above this temperature may result in probe failure. Because some pits, such as ceramic Kamado-style cookers, are designed to operate above this temperature, a probe saver alarm alerts you if your pit temperature reaches 25 degrees Fahrenheit below this limit. The probe saver alarm consists of a flashing red annunciator displayed above the pit tip panel. The RO alarm is canceled by tapping the probe saver annunciation. The probe saver annunciator is removed from the control panel display when the pit temp decreases below 450 degrees Fahrenheit. A pit temp warm-up mode is available to prevent display of a low temp warning while the pit is warming up to the set point. Warm-up mode is off by default and can be enabled on the pit alarm settings menu. If warm-up mode is enabled when CyberCook is launched, the pit temp alarm logic enters warm-up mode if the pit temperature is below the warm-up mode threshold. The warm-up mode threshold is set to 50 degrees Fahrenheit by default and can be changed between 25 degrees Fahrenheit and 100 degrees Fahrenheit on the pit alarm settings menu. While in warm-up mode, the pit temp annunciator and pit status field display a blue warm-up annunciation. A low temp alarm cannot be triggered while in warm-up mode. Warm-up mode is deactivated when the pit temperature reaches 5 degrees Fahrenheit below the pit temp set point. When warm-up mode is deactivated, high and low temperature alarms are enabled. It should be noted that if CyberCook was shut down and the pit temperature fell below the warm-up threshold while the app was shut down, CyberCook will enter warm-up mode when the app is relaunched. Because the pit temp was below the warm-up threshold when CyberCook was relaunched, the app thinks the pit is warming up, when in actuality the pit temp dropped due to other factors. Therefore, a low temperature alarm will not be triggered in this situation. While this would be a rather extreme situation during most cook sessions, users should take note of this when relaunching CyberCook during the middle of a cook session. The pit timer settings on the CyberCook device can be remotely set and monitored from CyberCook. When CyberCook is launched, or after regaining a lost connection, the app synchronizes the pit timer with the CyberCook. Parameters initialized include time left on the timer, whether or not the timer is running, the timeout action, and the cook hold temperature. If the pit timer is running on the device when CyberCook is launched, the CyberCook pit timer begins running in parallel with the CyberCook timer. Because of iOS limitations, the app cannot trigger the pit timer alarm while in the background. If the pit timer expired while the app was in the background, the pit timer expired alarm is triggered immediately when CyberCook is next launched. If you anticipate exiting CyberCook while using the pit timer on the device, it's recommended that you turn on the alarm beeps on the CyberCook so you will receive a warning when the timer expires. Tapping the timer display on the app annunciator displays the pit timer settings menu. The CyberCook pit timer menu cannot be displayed when no connection is available to the CyberCook device. The pit timer can be started, stopped, and restarted using the start-stop buttons. The timer setting is updated on the device each time the start or stop button is tapped. The pit timer can be reset to the saved timer setting by tapping the timer reset button. Tapping the graph button on the control panel screen provides quick access to the session graph for the active cook session. If recording is underway for the active session, the graph will automatically update as new snapshots are recorded. If desired, the graph can be configured to automatically display at the end of the graph timeline. This prevents you from having to scroll to the end of the graph every time you want to view session progress during an active cook. To enable this function, go to the Miscellaneous Settings menu and turn the Scroll Active Session Graph to End switch to On. This concludes the introduction to the CyberCook Control Panel. Please send any questions or comments to support@iportablesolutions.com, and happy smoking!